Welcome back, WW Fly Corvair. Today we're going to get a look at your rear oil case. The specific component I want to take a look at is this critter right here. That right there is your oil cooler bypass. That's stock from General Motors. This piece right here on the back of the motor is where the gold oil filter housing is bolted on in place. Underneath it is the oil cooler bypass, and we have to address that if we're going to have the oil system work properly. What does this piece do for us? Well, when the engine is cold and the oil is thick, this bypasses the oil cooler. It has a little plunger in it, and the oil short circuits the cooler. It warms up a whole lot faster that way. It's a simple mechanism. Hiding inside it is just a spring and a little phenolic disc inside a housing. Those components right there open up whenever there's a 7 psi or more differential across the oil cooler. Here's an interesting fact. Your oil cooler that's on your Corvair stock was made by Harrison division of General Motors. If you look at Niagara coolers, which are the finest aircraft coolers made, Niagara used to be a division of Harrison. It's a spin-off. So the same people who made the oil cooler on your Corvair make the finest oil coolers for aircraft. The reason why this is significant is because they both are designed to work on a 7 psi differential so that the bypass works whenever there's 7 pounds of drag going through the cooler. They're internally sized that way. So was the cooler on your Corvair. If you're going to use a Group 2700 oil system where you're just going to have the filter housing and put the filter right on this component, you're going to need an oil cooler bypass that's in there and functioning. I highly recommend getting a new one from Clark's. They're not that expensive and they're fairly easy to pop out and then stake back in place. Your other option on oil systems is to use a Group 2800, which utilizes this, but the sandwich adapter sits right here between the housing and the oil filter. A Group 2800 has its own oil cooler bypass built into it. It's in the sandwich adapter as we've seen before. In that case, you don't want this one in place, and you need to remove it. So, it stays in place for a 2700 system. It is removed for a Group 2800 heavy-duty oil system. To get a look at how easy it is to remove, simple screwdriver hooked under the lip, and out it comes. And there's the part right there. This one's distorted, but it's got its spring and its little phenolic disc. It essentially works the exact same way that the bypass does in the gold oil sandwich adapter. All you have to do is clean this up a little bit. If you were going to put another one in, a new one will drop right in there, and you just have to restore the 4 little punch marks. Here we have an HV2000 case that's in process, that's been through the initial cleaning process. You can see that the bypass has been removed from this one. When we rebuild an HV2000, we operate under the assumption that almost everyone is going to be using a Group 2800 oil system. For people using a Group 2700 oil system, as specified in the manual, again, you want to put a bypass back in this spot and tack it down in place with the stakes. That's a quick look at the oil cooler bypass. It's a very simple system from General Motors, and we've replicated it in the heavy-duty oil system, but it's in the gold sandwich adapter. In this particular case, you have a look at how the system functions and how it's been integrated to work with the coolers, the pumps, the regulators, The entire system works as a unit. And again, we sell the entire unit completely remanufactured. I want people to understand how it works, but it's not necessary for you to do the fine rebuilding in it. When you get a look at the systems as they're designed to work together, as we have developed them over the years, this is the path to success. When you read about guys who are out flying their airplanes and had no trouble at all, they're using our systems the way that we intended, integrated together. You can get on the internet and you can get a lot of free advice from a lot of people, but they're not going to show up and fix what's wrong with your airplane when it doesn't work. This stuff works. Go with it. It's the best advice I can give you. If you're interested in Corvairs, follow the proven path. Thanks for stopping by. If you like the information you're getting, please remember to subscribe. And we'll see you out on the flight line.